Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and being here today. I am nervous to hell about this video. So this is taking my channel in a slightly different direction, and I'm a bit wary about this being seen as like some kind of clickbait or something, so I'm just going to be real open that I am a trainee counsellor, trainee psychologist. My channel is around psychology and mental health, and when I put in the title about why people like Corpse Husband, it's not a drama thing. Just from my personal interest in psychology and mental health, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking around Corpse Husband today and why people seem to be drawn to him and where that may come from, and that's it. I'm not trying to do anything else with that. I have a tiny little channel. I'm not trying to create any drama, but I just find it fascinating, so I thought I'd talk around that today. So that's my video today. For those of you that don't know, although what planet are you on? Corpse Husband, his channel has just blown up in this past year. He is a YouTuber who, I don't even know how many millions of subscribers he has now. It's something like 6 million or something. He is a YouTuber who used to predominantly narrate horror stories that were written by other people. His channel has changed. He does a lot of gaming now on his channel, and that's kind of where people find him. And he also has a really successful music career, basically. I know how I first came across Corpse.
Hello?
What up, baby?
There was a number of very successful gaming channels who invited him to play a game of Among Us, and that's kind of where we first heard Corpse. And I think that's the key thing, is heard Corpse, because if you don't know, Corpse is a faceless YouTuber, but he is incredibly famous because of his voice. Now, there have been so many videos on YouTube dissecting his voice and talking about his voice. I'm going to talk about the psychology of why people like Corpse and why people feel drawn to Corpse, and the kind of psychological factors that may have contributed to Corpse having such a huge fan base and so many super fans and all this stuff behind him. So, first off, Corpse's voice is so distinct that, for a start, in a group of 8 people, 10 people, however many gaming, Corpse is someone who's really, really distinctive, and he really stands out. So automatically, because his voice is so different, in that situation where everyone's basically the same, he really stands out as someone. And I guess from a psychological point of view as well, when you hear his voice, he has a very, very deep voice, and automatically, as human beings, we form judgments and stereotypes and prejudices and stuff. It's kind of a natural part of being human that we form these things in our minds.
Hey guys, this is Editing Emma. Now, when I watched this back, this bit just didn't make a lot of sense, so I just thought I'd do a voiceover to explain. So basically the point I was trying to make, and failed miserably the first time round, was that we automatically come up with judgments and stereotypes and prejudices within us without our control. And Corpse has a very deep voice. Obviously his name is Corpse, which is morbid in itself. His character on Among Us is usually wearing a little black outfit, and automatically we pull up these judgments of who we think that person is and how they're going to behave, and it's largely formed by societal expectations and understandings, but it's something that we don't have any control over.
Now, in terms of gameplay as well, he is an incredible game player at Among Us. I don't know if it's because of his voice or what, people find it really difficult to work out when he's lying or not. He seems to get away with loads. Imposter wise, he's really skilled and a bit, it's kind of cheeky with it and stuff. So, you can totally get why you would be interested in him purely just for his gameplay. But also, when you spend time listening to his streams and almost getting to know him, he is a fundamentally kind human being. I think that's obvious for everyone to see. And I guess if you talk about psychologically, you form an opinion of someone and then you actually have the reality of what they're like, and there's a big juxtaposition. So there is this societal understanding that the kind of like goth or punk or mod or whatever labeled community is depressed, dissociative, aggressive at times, moody as hell. And all of those things may be true, but people don't tend to get to know people on an individual basis to actually challenge those stereotypes and broaden them. Whereas you get to know Corpse, and he's an incredibly nice human being. We also see on live streams the bonds that he then develops with certain individuals. He has the most adorable bromance, friendship. It's so genuine and lovely with Saikuno. It's heartwarming to see, but also he's just genuinely very kind to most people. And if you tag into that as well, that in terms of the success that his channel has had, you can see that he genuinely is so appreciative. You know, he's done interviews, he obviously posts on social media and stuff. He is so unbelievably grateful, and it's just so unexpected that there is that humility there that also adds to the appeal of Corpse. And it's so interesting that with Corpse, really on YouTube and online, people see him as a person. And often people don't really see people online as people. They can kind of see them as a persona. Now, the difference with Corpse is that Corpse has been really quite vulnerable actually online. Although people are really, really interested in his voice, it's actually due to a number of health issues that he has going on that has resulted in his voice sounding the way that it does. And it causes him a huge amount of pain. So he opens up and is really vulnerable with that. And it's really interesting because initially when people heard his voice, he had a huge amount of objectification from that, and he was sexualized a lot. And obviously that still goes on, I'm sure. But with the vulnerability that then came when he opened up about his voice, and that he then ended up with a mass following of people that will just defend him to the death on every single post about how he shouldn't be sexualized and how he is just a human being. So they literally, people have been able to see him as a human being rather than just this faceless YouTuber that they're used to acting this way, being this certain way. There's another level to Corpse as well, where through his music, he opens up more about his vulnerability, and he talks a lot about issues that he's had with being a faceless YouTuber and worrying about getting recognized and revealing his identity and the problems that will cause. And he's really very, very open online about who he is. And I know that he's received a huge amount of backlash and problems from that. And he's talked before about death threats that he's received and all of this kind of stuff. So the emotional resilience must be huge to be able to manage that and to still consistently kind of be open with people. And it seems like he always errs on the side of being honest. There's days where he doesn't post on Twitter, and then a few days later he'll just say, look, I genuinely don't know what to say. I don't want to let anybody down, but I genuinely don't know what to say. He doesn't like employ a PR company to come in and like big up and manage this. Like, he's trying to do everything on his own, and he's trying to do it in the way that is most authentic to him. So from a psychological point of view, we've met someone who, for a start, massively intrigues us anyway, just because of the situation and because his voice is unusual. So you've got that initial intrigue, that initial curiosity. Then when you get to know him, you like him because obviously he's a fundamentally kind human being. He's also challenging a lot of stereotypes that people may or may not be aware that they hold, and societal expectations and things. He's challenging the stereotype of what it means to be a YouTuber. You know, he's incredibly open with stuff. And to be honest, like you said before, you know, he gets paid to play games with his friends, which is awesome. And obviously it's not as simple as that at all, but you know, he is just being himself. And he's talked quite openly before about now having the opportunity to do all of these things that he wants to do. And it's just been like an explosion of love for him, basically. And like I said, he now has this massive following. There's a huge number of people as well that he appeals to for different reasons. So he's very open about his own mental health issues. He's open about his anxiety. He creates a channel for people to connect to him in that way. And his music as well appeals to a range of people. There's a lot of people that the actual content of the music, I mean, he's obviously very talented, would appeal to. There's also people who the lyrics appeal to, people who just watch him on gaming, want to support him because they want to support him. Like, he's just the epitome of people supporting a human being over supporting a projection or an ideal of someone, or just someone's creative output, if that makes sense. So some channels on here are really successful because of what people do online and the product that they kind of sell. I know that sounds strange, but for example, if you are, I don't know, my kids watch a lot of like doll remake videos. If you remake dolls, then they're popular channels. They do really well because people want to see the doll and they want to see your skills and you remaking that doll. And although Corpse has a number of skills, his channel is hugely popular because of who he is. And although yes, he is a talented gamer, and yes, he is a really talented musician, and yes, he is talented in his horror stuff that he used to do before and all of this kind of stuff, actually it's about who he is as a person. But obviously I'm someone sitting here with a tiny YouTube channel and I'm just talking around, like I said, the psychology of why he's so popular, why we're so interested in him. And I think really he's fundamentally a human being. Like we literally see him as a human being, and that's why we like him. I also feel it's a bit strange on my mental health mainly focused channel to be talking about me liking Court's husband, but honestly, like, who doesn't? Like, this is someone who has the tenacity and the balls to be honest and be vulnerable on YouTube to millions of people regularly. I'm in awe of him a lot of the time. And also, you know, he's incredibly entertaining to watch and very funny, and there's such humility in him. That's a trait that we like as human beings. You know, we like people to be incredible but not know that they're incredible. Which is, it's always interesting psychologically that that's how it works. It's because then we don't see them as a threat. We just think like, wow, this person's amazing. That's me talking around Corpse. If you liked this video, if there are other YouTubers that you'd like me to look into, and I'm no way psychoanalyzing whatsoever, but if you'd like me to look into and talk around, I'm happy to do that. But also my channel, I'd like to do more of these videos where I talk about kind of current topics rather than these abstract ideas about mental health and stuff, which are useful to a number of people. I've had many messages about how useful they are, but I would like to broaden my channel a bit more and to do some Counsellor Reacts stuff in the future. So anyway, let me know your suggestions down below. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I hope wherever you are, you're keeping safe and well, and I'll catch you in the next one.